One Zambia, one nation. You are watching Zanis News. I am your presenter, Henry Himonde. Top stories in our news. Visually impaired family receives government support. Parliament opens new session. Queen Elizabeth II mourned. And youths in Katua constituency receive soccer balls. With the details, we start with Central Province. Mumbwa District Commissioner Namukolo Hayumbu has assured of government support to two visually impaired members of the same family who are being looked after by a grade 10 pupil. Mrs. Hayumbu says government will ensure that the family is put on social cash transfer program to ease the challenges they are facing. Kruger Siankulu brought us this report.
Two visually impaired members of the same family are being looked after by a grade 10 boy in Mumbwa District. District Commissioner Namkulo Hayumbu has visited the family and says government will ensure the family is initiated on the social cash transfer program.
On our local social cash transfer in the district for coming on board to register, to have the old man registered so that he can be a beneficiary. And like I've mentioned, we are asking for help from well-wishers as we've heard the challenges they are facing. They are not sure of the next meal where it's going to come from. Electricity was disconnected several years ago, so there are a lot of things to be taken care of.
Freddie Muyat was 70 and his daughter Lillian now share the sad story of how they lost their sight.
Between 2017 and 2018, my eyesight started deteriorating, and in 2019, I lost my sight completely.
Was checked my eyesight and I tried different lenses, but
so
meanwhile, the family caretaker also shares the daily challenges.
So challenge and facing and yakabati school.
I have a challenge of looking after my grandfather and my mother because I also go to school.
Kruger Siankulu, Zanis, Mumbwa.
On the Copper Belt province, plans to set up a multi-million United States dollars 200 megawatt photovoltaic solar project in Luansha district on the Copper Belt province have advanced. District Commissioner Once More Ngonomo says the project, estimated to cost 260 million United States dollars, is being implemented by a private developer, Metro Gold Limited. Mr. Ngonomo disclosed that a project consultant has been engaged and will soon undertake a feasibility study, which will include the grid impact assessment, among other factors. He said the 200 megawatt project, which started in 2019, will sit on 260 hectares of land, which has been sourced from the local authority, and will begin operations with an initial 50 megawatt. Mr. Ngonomo said the project is expected to create both direct and indirect jobs for over 1,200 people. The Mkoweko Maximum Correctional Facility has recorded a decrease in the HIV prevalence rate from 27% in 2010 to 20% in 2022. Ministry of Health in Kabwe District has attributed the decrease in the HIV prevalence rate to positive efforts that cooperating partners working in collaboration with the Correctional Service are making. Daniel Billy has the rest of the story.
Nationally, the Zambian government has joined the efforts of the United Nations Programme on HIV and AIDS towards the 95-95-95 target, ensuring that by 2030, a total of 95% of people living with HIV know their status, 95% of those who know their status are on treatment, and 95% of those receiving treatment have had their viral load suppressed. Zambia today has reached 71.4%, 87.1% and 89.2%, according to a 2020 population-based HIV impact assessment. However, correctional facilities are a key population for meeting these national and global targets. This is why Ubumi and Tackle Africa have launched the HIV/AIDS sensitization campaign at Mukobeko Maximum Correctional Facilities.
The whole point of this is that we should not forget that HIV still exists. It's still a problem, and we want to make sure that we don't focus away from it, but we keep talking about it, we keep sensitizing people, we keep providing the services that are needed so that we can come to a point where there is zero HIV in Zambia.
They continue these sessions, more people find out about their status, so in all, the more people that know their status, the more chance we have of preventing HIV moving forward. So the prevalence rate in Zambia right now is at 11.1. Ideally, we want to keep decreasing that.
Mukobeko Maximum Correctional Facility officer in charge Katongo Chishimba says recent evidence indicates that voluntary HIV rapid testing within correctional facility settings is feasible and effective.
The combination of football and HIV knowledge is a plus to our dear inmates in Mukobeko Maximum and other facilities. The coming on board of correcting partners has enhanced HIV awareness, leading to more inmates going for VCT and other related services.
Mwila Mwansa graced the occasion on behalf of the District Director of Health, Chizamfune.
There is a considerable reduction of HIV cases in facilities. It is also important to note that HIV prevalence rate in correction facilities has reduced in previous years.
Daniel Billy, Zanis News, Kabwe, Central Province.
In Luapula Province, Police Service Commission Chairperson Peter Machungwa says the commission is working towards ensuring that corruption in the police service is wiped out. Dr. Machungwa observes that there are some elements of corruption in the service that need to be dealt with before the entire service is contaminated. He reviews that the Commission is undertaking a countrywide sensitization exercise on the need for officers to refrain from corrupt activities. Dr. Machungwa warned that officers who will not heed to the advice of not engaging in corrupt activities will have themselves to blame. And Luapula Province Deputy Permanent Secretary Royd Mwape has called on the Police Service Commission to look into the issue of accommodation for police officers in the province.
Try to sensitize our officers to desist from engaging themselves in corrupt practices. So we try to talk to our officers to be very careful, and that if they engage in these things, we shall weed them out. They will be subjected to the disciplinary procedures within our formations, and if they are not behaving, we shall be very happy to see them out of the service.
Yes, we have seen a lot of problems in the police, especially where accommodation is concerned. Most of our police officers in Luapula Province, they don't have accommodation. And that one is one of the demotivating factor to the staff or to the officers.
Also in the news, President Hakainde Hichilema has today officially opened the second session of the 13th National Assembly. His address highlights a number of progressive issues that have drawn reactions from members of parliament, among other stakeholders. Mutalekani witnessed the event and now reports.
President Hakainde Hichilema today officially opened the second session of the 13th National Assembly. In his speech, President Hichilema highlighted an array of policy issues of national interest touching on social protection, mining, and the economy, among others.
We have built back foreign exchange reserves from 1.9 months to well above the global average, basically 3.7 months of import cap.
President Hichilema's assurances on improving the rural road network has pleased Chama North Member of Parliament, Yotam Mutachab.
I'm also happy with the issue of the roads. Us coming from the rural areas, the roads have been very, very bad. And I think that is a step in the right direction. If we can be able to work on these feeder roads, I think that will promote economic activities. Farmers will be able to take their farming products to their markets.
On a number of issues, especially the issues of education, where he actually emphasized that by 2023, all the members of parliament should ensure that in their respective constituencies, we should ensure that children do not sit on the floor.
And former Zambia Congress of Trade Unions, ZCTU President Leonard Hikaomba, who is now Movement for Democratic Change, MDC Vice President, described the president's speech as progressive.
Through the Constituency Development Fund and many other monies that are available to support those who want to do business. So those are the options that they can look at. But in everything, it's important that we work very hard, we work together, and that's the message that was being promoted.
And addressed himself to sectors that are close to the hearts of the people of Kanchibia, whom I'm privileged to represent at this time. The agricultural sector, a very crucial component for us as the people of Kanchibia. The tourism sector, very, very important sector for the people of Kanchibia.
Mtalakani for Zanis News in Lusaka.
Still on the opening of Parliament, Wupesendwe highlights the procession that characterized the opening of the second session of the 13th National Assembly. Take a look at this.
President Hakainde Hichilema this morning graced the Parliament buildings to officially open the second session of the 13th National Assembly. President Hichilema, who arrived around 10:13 hours in the company of First Lady Mutinta Hichilema, was received by the service chiefs. The president's arrival was characterized by a 21-gun salute and a flypast by the Zambian Air Force. As per custom, President Hichilema then proceeded to inspect the Guard of Honor. Shortly after, the president was welcomed by the dancing troops who showcased a special greeting in various Zambian languages to symbolize the unity in the country as one people. As chief guest of honor in the Speaker's chambers, President Hichilema signed in the visitor's book before proceeding to give his address. Earlier, Leader of the House, Vice President Mutalena Lumango, arrived at the National Assembly buildings at around 9:45 hours. Meanwhile, the opening of the 13th National Assembly has seen an increased number of attendants following the easing of COVID-19 guidelines, as recently announced by the Ministry of Health. Wupes and reporting in Lusaka.
We now move to Northern Province, where residents of Kabanda village in Kasama district have expressed concern over the bad state of Sanfia Road, which connects Kasama and Chinsali district through the Sanfia pontoon. Ernest Saili, one of the residents, says the road is in a very bad state and people are facing difficulties in transporting goods and services. Here now is a report.
This is the state of the Safwa Road, which links Northern and Mchinga provinces. The poor state of this road has raised concern among members of the public who have since called on government to quickly work on the road before the onset of the rains.
kwa na wimba ukasana tunashukuru sana fyo kwenda sauti na mas springs yamo yali kutoka last time mulumendo kwa pali bapa imba popo spring yashikirona
uteko bwamyeko musebo wesu wali onaika sana wali bana maputuzi ayengi then na pasa kwa pene bachambeshi avike po bridge wantu musebo nga watka mainsa ifyuli nemyoto katapakabena ngulimo ikarapitamu.
Others also want government to plan for the construction of the bridge on the Safa pontoon to ease their movements.
So nga ukuteko batukia bana bridge hapa limwe mtolala fina papeli wafikusala ala papeli tamu abwike masanga tubaini so kola turashukuru afisa
gabe utati iye mwatulisha kuli ba relevant kuba chikomine matulogusha kwa mlandi wa utati iye umusebo n'abana b'esukuru abapeshira barafira utati bale yabukabwino bwino.
The Constituency Development Funds Committee in Lukasha constituency said the Safwa Road is among many other projects earmarked to be worked on.
This bridge, so our business in terms of transportation are very poor. Apanga Papa Bridge, Chikafurisha Kuma motorist to and then in a road network from Kasama to Chinsari in Shikangu. Mukatasa would take up to the number, who would take that it was a hard-working government.
Reporting for Zanis in Kasama, I'm Jafet Munkondia.
Zanis News continues. Some residents of Lundazi district in Eastern Province have expressed happiness over the Msuzi Bridge, whose works have been completed. One of the residents, Blessings Banda, says the bridge will boost economic activities in the area. Lubasim Tafela now brings us the details.
Construction works on the Msuzi Bridge project have advanced with 95% works completed. The bridge is now open for use. This development has impressed motorists.
Tionga kuli boma. Baba bene tambo na bridge tambo pita pa mwamba kudala tezopita kunyansi.
Komo ko siliza bridge. Yankala zaka zambiri. Bata pomene mwa isizira at least apa manje tipita kwa hapa. Kaliko mushika kutake nzopita huko.
As for the Lundazi Bridge, the project is being backfilled with major works done so far. Shachitali Construction Company is undertaking the works on the two bridges, and the site manager has assured that the projects will be completed before the onset of the rains.
Backfilling the bridge. We started with the Lundazi side, then by Friday, I think we'll finish one side. The next week we'll go to the other side, doing the same works as you already the same.
Some residents have described the progress on the two bridges as a huge achievement for President Hakainde Hichilema and his government with 1 year that he has been in office.
We have already started backfilling. I think the rains won't find us. We'll cross through this bridge before the onset of the rains. May I commend also the contractor. Can you keep on keeping on, work hard, let us finish this bridge. We need it like yesterday and want to use it.
Promise yamene natipasa yambaoneka wakati tizakonza bridge taiona kuti vakonza ija nayo vasiriza kudala paja nchoniwonga boma ya manje.
Reporting for Zanis in Lundazi district, I'm Lubasim Tafela.
Also in the news, Kalabo District Commissioner Musangu Njamba has disclosed that a number of bags of rice have not been bought by the Food Reserve Agency FRA despite the closure of the 2022 purchasing period. Mr. Njamba has appealed to government to set up a rice processing plant in Kalabo in an effort to increase the intake of local rice. He states that Kalabo is the largest producer of Mongo rice, although farmers are exploited into selling the unprocessed rice at a lower price.
Because of that, some Angolan communities, they normally come in our land to come and buy rice. Yes, but now those are briefcase businessmen. Yes, so this is the reason why the women in Kalabo, they are asking for rice polishing machine and the mango juice processing machine. It's because they're not getting profit from their produce.
So that we see where we can leverage all these resources to put together and ensure that women are empowered in Channell. So, DC, you're going to hear from us more very soon. And we're very happy that you've given us all this rich information for us to work on. So I'm just looking forward that we work together and we ensure that our women are empowered and their businesses are promoted. Thank you so much.
Zambia has joined the rest of the world in remembering the late Queen Elizabeth II. Stakeholders share their fond memories of the longest-serving monarchy of the United Kingdom and her role played in Zambia as a former British colony. Michelo Malungisa brings us this report.
Zambia and the United Kingdom have a long-standing relationship which dates back to the time before Zambia got its independence. Even after its independence, Zambia's relationship with the UK continued, as can be witnessed from the various support that Britain has continued to offer to Zambia. As the world mourns the passing of Queen Elizabeth II, Zambia has a collection of memories about the Queen.
The relationship with the United Kingdom has been very cordial since independence, and the British, as well as the Commonwealth Secretariat, have been very supportive of our endeavors all these many years of our independence. And even as we speak today, the British have various organizations that operate in Zambia at various levels, and they also give us all sorts of support. And even the, I don't want to call it a deal, but the IMF agreement that we just managed to get a few days ago.
The United Independence Party, as the party that got its instruments of power from Britain, shares the relationship that the party had with the Queen.
So she worked very closely with President Kaunda. They were very close friends. And of course, she herself visited Zambia. And I recall specifically in 1979 when the CHOGM, the heads of governments, was held in Lusaka, and the Queen came. And the interesting thing about that is that at the time, the Prime Minister was Margaret Thatcher, and she didn't want her to come to Zambia. But the Queen's love for Zambia, the Queen's love for the Commonwealth, she overruled our Prime Minister and came. And there was a delightful meeting, and where there was a breakthrough in terms of bringing about the freedom of Zimbabwe. And so there was that special ties.
The Queen was also regarded as the supreme governor of the church in England, hence had strong connections with the Anglican Church, even here in Zambia.
She was a very beautiful person in the truest sense of that word, a very devout Christian. Of course, she was what they call the supreme governor of the Church of England, that is the titular head of the Church of England by virtue of her position, and referred to as well as the defender of the faith. So our whole life was lived in the context of her expression of her calling to be the sovereign, the Queen of England, as a servant of God, and service to the church, service to the nation, the United Kingdom.
Queen Elizabeth II of United Kingdom died yesterday in Scotland. Michelo Lubinda for Zanis.
In a related development, the Barotse Royal Establishment in Western Province says it is saddened by the death of Queen Elizabeth II, who passed away yesterday, September 8, 2022. BRE Prime Minister, traditionally known as the Ngambela, Manyando Mkela, states that the establishment is passing its condolences to the British government over the loss of the Queen. The Ngambela has disclosed that the people of Barossland have been connected to Britain for a long time, since the 1800s. The Prime Minister also notes the recognition that Queen Elizabeth made to Litunga Mwanawina Lewanika for his role played in the Second World War. Mr. Mkela said the BRE looks forward to a smooth handover of responsibility in the coronation of the new monarch. The Ngambela also emphasized that it would be an honor for King Lubosi Imwiko II to join the coronation ceremony due to the close connection. Queen Elizabeth II died yesterday at the age of 96 and reigned over the British monarchy for 70 years. In our sports segment, Katuwa Member of Parliament Mwabashike Nkulukusa has empowered youths in Katuwa constituency with soccer balls. This is aimed at enhancing sports activities among the youths in the area. Sande Walia now reports.
Sports play a critical role in shaping up the character of people, especially youths who are more vulnerable to illicit vices such as beer drinking. To this end, Katuwa Member of Parliament Mwabashike Nkulukusa has purchased and handed over 25 soccer balls to 25 male teams in his constituency to enable them refrain from vices.
We have distributed 25 footballs to 25 teams in Chorokelo Ward. We also are continuing to distribute the entire Katuwa. We have invested over 25,000 kwacha to purchase these footballs so that we can empower youths with sporting activities. We intend to reduce the crime rate, the drunkardness rate, and activities that bring about youths going into illicit activities. Our objective is to ensure that youths concentrate on entertainment such as soccer.
Katuwa Constituency Chairman Abishai Chinda cancelled the teams on the importance of sports to human beings.
Ichi chintu ichi osachisiya kuchisebenzesa mbera chimapasa muntu kunkhala very fit bola tu bola imalengesa muntu kusaenda kuyenda upeza na matenda upeza na accident chimwe chonse unkhala uli pachani uli pa bola wachita train after wa train paja wachita bwanji walema wenda je ukapumula kunyumba.
Meanwhile, one of the players expressed joy and pledged to intensify scoring prowess in upcoming games.
No kondwera maningi porandira mabora ya lero kuri ba MP batu barangiza kugwirizana mu Katuwa constituency and futi nonga zikomo for pasa mabora. As a striker, I play as a number 9 mu timu yatu, so I'll make sure that on Sunday we're having the games, so mkucha bora kwanga number 9 mifuna kutipa Sunday pameni posegura mabora nikamwese ko bora imozi.
Sports not only improves our health, but for adolescents it's a good ingredient for teamwork and problem solving skills. For Zanis, I'm Sande Walia.
Sande Walia's report brings us to the end of Zanis News, but before we go away, let's take another look at our top stories. Visually impaired family receives government support. The second session of the 13th National Assembly has opened. Queen Elizabeth II mourned. And youths in Katuwa constituency receive soccer balls. Thank you so much for staying with us on Zanis News. On behalf of the entire news production crew, my name is Henry Himonde. Remember, we are one Zambia, one nation. Until next time, it's goodbye for now.